This is video number 6 in the series, continuing the color wash project. And this is one of the most challenging and rewarding phase where I'm going to do the binding, put my pages together, and finally we get an idea of how this mini album is going to look. So I'm using a cardstock, and I like to match the hinges to my pages just so it has a more seamless look. I oriented with the long side up, and I have 8.5 inches, which is the length of my pages. And I score my paper at 1/2 inch, then at 7/8, then at 1 3/8, then at 1 7/8, and the last cut right here at 2 1/4. And I'm gonna cut my page at 2 3/4. So this is gonna make my hinge. So these are my cuts, these are my scores, and then there'll be one cut. And as you can probably start seeing, this is gonna be the first ridge. Is gonna attach in the middle of my first set. Then I'm gonna create a ridge by folding these two sides together, and that's gonna be my second ridge. And then the last one, of course, this side that I'm gonna cut off is gonna be for my third set of pages. And for the gussets, I liked the 3/8 of an inch. If you plan to use more dimensional, you can definitely make it to 1/2 inch or even larger. I don't like it to be too large because I feel then there's too much space, but if you plan to do insert or folding pages, that's up to you. Anyway, I'm gonna go cut my page and come back, show you how I fold everything together. And I'm back with my scored and cut binding piece. Again, the measurements for the score lines, it's 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 7/8, 1 3/8, 1 7/8, 2 1/4, and then cut at 2 3/4. So this is how my paper looks. And what I'm gonna do, just fold on the score lines, and what I'm gonna do is glue this part, this 2 1/2 inch piece, to make my ridge. So this is kind of how it goes, and you've probably seen this on many YouTube videos, and there are people who explain it so much better than I. I'm going to continue folding, and I'm going to come back, show you how I glue my middle part together. And this is how my page or my paper looks like. This is going to be the ridge in the middle where my second set of pages is going to be attached, and then the side, of course, for my first and third. I'm going to put some glue in this part, hold it together. I'm going to go ahead and ink the inside because a little bit of this gusset is going to be showing, especially the edges, and I'll come back to show you how I put them all together. And this is my binding piece, and it's all finished. I inked the inside of my gussets, and what I'm going to do is miter the corners because I don't like a lot of bulk when I glue my pages together. And this is going to be the part that is going to be glued down to the spine. With the corners all mitered, I'm taking my first set of pages, which is this orange page, and what I'm folding the side with a pocket, and this side is going to be glued down right about here. And I'm going to put adhesive on the back of my first flap and make sure it's all glued down. If you have a design that has an up and down, be mindful of that. Make sure it stays in the order you want, and it's all the pages are right side up. I'm gonna glue this piece together, and I'll come back to show you the second part that will create our first pocket. So our first page from the first set is attached to our binding, and we have the gusset. This is going to be our first gusset, the ridge, another gusset, and then the last page is going to be attached on this last ridge. So I'm taking the second page of my first set, and as you can see, I decorated this panel with some leftover, And I'm gonna glue on 3 sides, on the long side, and then on the top and bottom. It's gonna create a pocket, and then my second page is gonna be in place. So you get the idea. This is gonna be my pocket, and this is gonna be my first page. I'm gonna glue it together, and I'll be right back. So with the first set in place, you see we have this edge, the first page, our first pocket, which is right here, our second page of the first set, and then we have a ridge, and this is my second set of pages, and this is going to become my pocket. The ridge is right here in the middle. So pretty much what I'm doing is gluing this the narrow part, the middle part, together to the binding, which is this ridge I created in the middle, and to the sides. And the camera has a hard time focusing today. I think the light is not the best. Anyhow, you get kind of the impression of how this is gonna be looking. Alright, I'm gonna do the same thing for my last set, and I'll be back with a finished product. And now we have all our page sets attached to our binding, and this is how they look like. We have the ridge that's holding the second set, and the first and third are held by this one-sided ridge. So if you flip through, we see we have a making of a mini album. It looks like we made a lot of progress. So we have this page in the pocket, and then we have this page, and this is where the gussets are. So here we can decorate using some dimensional or make additional pockets. And then we have our purple pages, and this pocket right here, another page with the gussets. We're going to decorate and use some dimension. And then the last one, the blue page, and you can see what importance has to make sure your orientation is right, because you don't want this pocket to be up top. So the pocket here, and then we have this large pocket in the middle. All right. Stay tuned for video number 7.